Syllables. That's what we're talking about in today's video. We're going to jump in, we're going to talk about what syllables are, and then we're going to continue with a series all about the 7 syllable types. You might have heard there's 6, but there's a little bit of a debate between 6 and 7, but we'll talk about that in a later video. Right now, we're going to get into what are syllables. But before we jump in, if you're new here, my name is DiGilio. I was a primary teacher for 23 years, and on this channel, we talk about all things reading instruction, structured literacy, and really diving into the research behind the science of reading. I would love it if you can click that little subscribe button and that little bell next to it so you're alerted every time one of my new videos goes live. So let's jump into today's video because I know you're teachers and you don't have a ton of time. So let's do it. You ready? All right. I remember way back, in my early years of teaching, this is going on a long time ago now. I did not really necessarily think about why we teach syllables, right? I knew syllables existed. I did all the clapping activities, but I didn't really think about why we actually taught syllables. And syllables are really such an important skill to teach within phonological awareness because it really helps prepare our students to become strong readers. So today we're going to be diving into the world of vowels, syllables, and decoding strategies to really help us empower our students in reading and spelling. So first, we're going to jump right in and we're going to talk about vowels. And the first question we need to ask is, why are we talking about vowels? So let's revisit what vowels are. A vowel is a voiced speech sound where air flows freely without friction or blockage from the teeth, the tongue, the lips, or the throat. So think of it as kind of an open, melodious part of a word. So let's just talk about some of the vowels that we know together: A, E, I, O, and U. And each of these letters has, of course, unique sounds. We're going to talk about short sounds today. A makes the sound ah. I makes the sound I. O makes the sound ah. U makes the sound and E makes the sound eh. Of course, there's long vowels, but we'll get to that. Now that we refreshed our vowel knowledge, let's dive a little bit deeper into why vowels are important to syllable division. You might wonder why we kind of started with vowels. Well, understanding vowels is absolutely key to identifying syllables. Syllables are like the puzzle pieces of words, helping us break them down to pronounce them accurately. You can actually determine the number of syllables in a word by actually counting the vowel sounds it contains. Not how many vowels, the vowel sounds. There are 7 types of syllables. Now, some people will tell you 6, some people will tell you 7. We're going to go with 7. And again, we'll get into this a little bit later. The first syllable type is the CVC syllable type. Consonant, vowel, consonant pattern, like in the words pig and cat. The VCE syllable type, also known as magic E, like in the words mule and bike. We have the vowel, or VV, which is the vowel team's syllable, like in the words boat and rain. Then again, we have vowel, which are 2 vowels together called diphthongs that make one sound, like in the words boy and oil. Then we have the VR syllable type, or R-controlled vowels, like in the words bird and car. Then we have the CV syllable type, which is consonant vowel pattern, like in the words go and new, the animal, GNU. And then the last syllable type is the C plus LE in that final stable syllable in the words like turtle and bubble. So building student knowledge around syllables and types of syllables can really help students when they encounter multisyllabic words when they're reading. Let's talk about, how do you count syllables? When I taught syllables to my students, I used a strategy called spot and dot with my students. So first thing I would do is I would ask my students to look at the word. That's the first thing you want to do. We want to look at the word. So let's take the word pig, for example. We want to look at the word pig. So I'm going to write down pig. So I would write down the word. So here we have the word pig. So that's the word. We look at the word. That's the first part of this activity. We look at the word. Then we spot the vowel. Where's the vowel? We spot it. So the vowel is I in this particular word, pig. Now we dot the vowels. So you could either dot it on the bottom, you could put a dot on the bottom of the word, or you could put a dot on the top of the word. It's up to you where you want to have your students dot the word. So what I would do is I typically would like to do the dot on the bottom, especially if we're dealing with the I. So I would dot it. You could even use a different colored marker than what they're using. So if you're using a black expo, maybe use a different color to dot the vowels. So we would look at the word, we spot the vowel, we dot the vowel, and then we want to know is how many vowel sounds do you hear in the word below? Now, based on how many dots you have here and how many vowel sounds you hear, you'll know how many syllables are in the word. Pig, one vowel sound. I, p, I, g. We have one vowel sound. So the word pig is a one syllable word because it has one vowel sound. Again, when you're getting to words that have lots of vowels in them, that gets a little bit trickier, but we'll get into that as we get into multisyllabic words and words with vowel pairs and things like that. So we'll get into that. But in this particular word, the word pig has one vowel sound, so it is one syllable. Now, in contrast, let's take a quick look at a multisyllabic word. Let's take the word flamingo. So we'll write down flamingo. It's a little hard for me to do that looking at the camera. All right, so here we have the word flamingo. So what do? We look at the word, we spot the vowels. Spot the vowel, spot the vowel, spot vowel, and then dot the vowel, right? So we're gonna dot the vowel, dot the vowel, dot the vowel. So we have flamingo. We have three different vowel sounds. We have the the I, and the O. So the word flamingo has three syllables because it contains three vowel sounds. Three vowel sounds. Let's talk about how syllables help with reading. So dividing words into syllables or chunks is like giving our students like a roadmap for reading. It not only speeds up the decoding process, but it really helps them understand how vowels are pronounced in different parts of words, which is so important. Let's take an example. So let me take flamingo off my board right now. Let's take the word baby, for example. So with the word baby, that vowel is at the end of the syllable and it says its name. A, bay, a, B-E-E-E. Remember that Y can have different sounds, right? And it says its name. This is considered an open syllable. Then there are closed syllable like the word cat. So cat is considered a closed syllable because the consonant kind of traps and closes in the vowel sound in the middle. And that makes the vowel sound has its short vowel. So when a closed syllable it's closed in by a consonant, so this is considered a CVC word. And because that consonant is at the end of the word and it's closing in the vowel has the short sound. This is considered a closed syllable type. So the word cat is considered a closed syllable, and baby, this is considered two open syllables. So as I mentioned, we're going to go much deeper into each syllable type, but I wanted to start with just kind of an overall understanding about what syllables are, how to understand and figure out how many syllables are in a word. And to be totally honest, when I first started teaching 87 million years ago, It was more about, let's clap out the vowel sounds. Baby, how many vowels? I never really thought about why there were 2 syllables in it. Like, I didn't. It took me, some time when I really got into understanding literacy and phonics and really digging in deep to understanding how we're teaching things, that I was like, oh, okay, it's all based on the vowels. It's based on the vowel sounds. It's not based on the number of vowels in a word. And I didn't know everything when I first started teaching 87 million years ago. So I really learned as I went along. So this was just a very, very quick description of what syllables are and how we know and how we count syllables in a word. Now, we're actually, as I said, going to go deeper into this, and we're going to go deeper into each specific syllable type in this series. So this is going to be 7 more videos after this, and we're going to go deep into each syllable type. So basically, understanding syllables not only improves our reading accuracy, but it also helps us to become much better spellers. So definitely keep practicing breaking words apart and exploring the fascinating world of vowels and syllables. So before we head off on this video, because was a quickie, I want to talk about one thing. Many teachers are really looking for decodable books that will help students practice syllable types, right? So we all have our thousands of decodable books, right, that are focused on very explicit instruction, where if you're learning the ARR controlled vowel, you've got a book for that. The ER controlled vowel, you've got a book for that. When you've got a book for short A, you've got a book for digraphs, right? We all have our decodable books that focus and follow our explicit and systematic scope and sequence. These are our developing decoders. But one of the things I think you're lacking is the continuous practicing of learning and using those syllable types, which is why I want to show you and introduce our orange collection of our developing decoders, because this is about application. 50% of your lessons should be based on application. And what these orange decodable books in our Developing Decoders series focus on are syllable types. The whole orange collection. 70 books. There are 70 books in the orange collection. There are fiction and nonfiction books, and they're separated into 5 different sections. So the first section we have is the VC and CVC syllable types. So there, I believe, are 15 books just focused on that syllable type. So after you teach all those short vowels and now you want to practice and practice and practice, this is where the orange set comes in. They are considered chapter books, but they're shorter chapter books. They're not deep, long chapter books. They're shorter chapter books, and they focus on this particular VC and CV syllable type. Then we have the VV syllable type. Then we also have the VR syllable type, which is your R-controlled vowel. We have the VCE syllable type, which is focusing on the magic E syllable type. And then, of course, we have the C plus LE, that LE syllable type at the end. So if you're ready to bring books into the hands of your readers that allow them to practice syllable types in depth, this is the collection of decodable books for you. Not only are these only focused on syllable types, but they're also on the UFly decodable text guide. So we had sent our orange collection of books over to UFly, they read them, and they aligned them to their scope and sequence, and you can find these also on UFly's decodable text guide. So definitely check out our orange collection of decodable books that focuses on syllable types, and this is where that mastery comes in. This is where that application comes in. After you teach a specific syllable type, you'll break out these decodable books, and this is where that application will really come in and let them constantly practice that CVC and VC syllable type when you just taught that. And then when you go to the VCE, we've got the decodable books for VCE. Oops. Plus, don't forget, Don't forget, we also have nonfiction books in here. I can't find them right this minute, but we have fiction and then a nonfiction book to review. It's more fiction than nonfiction, but there are so many books in this collection. There are actually 70 books in this collection, and you get 6 copies of every book. So definitely check out our orange collection of developing decoders, because this is where application meets mastery. So definitely check that link below in the description. So again, I hope you enjoyed this quick overview on what syllables are and how to teach them, and stay tuned because we're going to go through each syllable type in much more depth in the coming videos. So thank you so much for watching. Again, please click that little subscribe button and that little bell next to it so you're alerted when my new video goes live on the next syllable type. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and happy teaching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.